Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Russell Dust Up. This is my YouTube channel. I'm videoing what my Wednesday morning is like. I'm up with the chickens. I have to get up with the chickens or the roosters anyway because I have animals to feed. This is Winston. Wayne's too lazy to come out for a second time in the morning, so Winston needs to do his business. So I'll walk him around the yard a couple times until he feels the need. And then after he does his business, I'll get my truck ready to go to my first accounts. So we take a couple hikes around the yard, and then if that don't work, I just put him in the house and I get going. For years, I had a routine because I was at my accounts at the same time, the same day, over and over and over and over and over again. I was at the gas stations at the same time, the same day. It's okay to have routines because it helps keep you responsible. I don't know if he wants me filming him going to the bathroom, but that's what he does. And that helps Mama Bear in the house out. She doesn't have to worry about him using the bathroom. So there's a lot of things I do before I jump in the truck and head to my accounts. I have to get myself ready, brush the teeth, use the bathroom, get the waters and what I'm going to eat for breakfast ready, and then get the equipment unpacked. Let's go, Winston. Good boy. Put him in the house. All right, see you later. See you in a couple hours. Hurricane was pretty rough on all our stuff. That's that. I've been parking my equipment over here for years, and I didn't used to have a shop, and I didn't used to have the property behind the house. So this was the only place I could put it. I don't run enclosed trailers anymore because I like to be able to reach over and grab things out of the trailer, put things in the trailer if I need to. And it gets pretty windy around here, so I'll throw that stuff up on there until I get back. So I like to shake the mowers in the morning, check them for fuel, make sure I got enough gas. This is my brand new mower that doesn't look brand new anymore, and I'm using it as a backup now that I've got my other brand new mower back from Brandon. So I'll look around, I'll check for leaks and stuff. I just did an oil change on this, no oil. So I keep everything chained up now that I've been a victim of theft. And this is how I roll. This is me getting ready in the morning. I've never cleaned the inside of this truck out ever. All the water bottles go over there until I feel the need to clean out that area. No one ever rides with me. I don't have employees anymore. You can't, there's nothing you can do to keep this truck clean when you're blowing off driveways and stuff. In the wintertime, you have your windows down all the time, and you just can't keep your truck clean. So, what better way to preserve your things than to allow a layer of dust to get on them? Old trucks don't go ding, 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 ding in the morning. So we're going to head to figure out a good place for this camera here. So we're going to head to my first account. Wednesdays is just in the neighborhood. I used to mow most of the neighborhood. Houses across the street, pretty much the whole street, I took care of. I don't do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't do 10 houses on my street anymore. 11. I don't do 11 houses in my neighborhood. We had a pretty long street too. This was considered being out in the country 11 years ago, until everybody and their brother decided to move out here. Totally changed the dynamics of this place. There's a horse farm right here. You guys can see the horses. The lady that lives there is like the horse champion of the world every year. She hangs big signs out on her fence to let everybody know that she's horse person of the year. Horse people are in their own world. And I always tell people, do your own thing. If horses are your thing, do it. So that's it. I just uncover everything, jump in the truck, turn the key on, click my heels, and away we go. Yesterday I let go of another customer. I've had that customer for 8 or 9 years, and I give my customers nicknames because I don't remember their names and their addresses and stuff. So the office and I have a certain language that we speak when it comes to customers, and her house was called Missouri Road, and when it gets really hot out, she decides to re-landscape parts of her property. And I'm stuck in an awkward position of, how do I charge for this? Because she'll buy the plants, and then she'll stick one somewhere, and then she'll call me on Sunday, and then she'll tell me that she wants the plants here and there and wherever, but when I get there, she won't come out and tell me where she wants them, because it's confusing. There's no money in it. She didn't ask me to go pick her out the correct plants to plant in her yard, and it's a lot of work. It's like an hour. I'm running a lawn route, and this is the mowing season right now. And I decided yesterday to refuse to do her extra work I mean, it's 86 degrees out at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, and I don't want to get a sweaty shirt until, you know, at least 9:30. And she had all these plants that she wanted me to bury in the ground. And for 8 or 9 years, I've been just doing it and then trying to figure out how to charge her. You know, I'm the kind-hearted guy that, you know, well, it just took me a few minutes. I ain't gonna charge her anything, you know. But she doesn't ask me, you know, when I can get to it, or a couple times she has, you know, hey, if you can't get to it, you know, don't. And it became a hassle. Um, and I'm trying to remove all the hassles um, from my life. I'm not being petty about her. You know, her yard's pretty hard. Um, she needs to just let me make it look good, and then we'll keep it that way. You know, instead of doing a little here and there. And it's not a money thing for them. You know. So yesterday, I I just got rigid and and rebelled, and I'm not gonna install a whole bunch of plants when I'm there just to cut the property and do the hedges and everything and then leave. Um, I had a talk with her husband about 4 or 5 weeks ago about it. I said, hey, you know, stop springing, you know, little landscape projects on me when I'm mowing. You know, throws my whole schedule off. You know, at my age, I don't like being out in the heat of the day if I don't have to. You know, and I want to be home. You know, I don't want to be working on someone's surprise landscape project. You know, but like I said, I sucked it up for 8 or 9 years and just did whatever she wanted. And then some years I would get there and she would spring it on me. She wanted everything ripped out, so I'd plant stuff for her and rip things out of the ground for her. Um, so I decided to stop working for her yesterday, and I'm going to drop a few other accounts in her area. I'm going to drop them. I made up my mind yesterday to drop them yesterday, so I don't have to go to this one area. These are accounts I've had for 8 or 9 years, and I can't sell them to nobody. And I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to sell them to somebody. So normally when I reduce uh, my work in a certain area, I'll give them away to somebody, but I don't know who to give accounts to anymore. And the funny thing is, you know, just getting one account is literally impossible. But yet I'm firing and quitting accounts. Well, I knew I was going to do this years ago. I'm not going to work for these people forever. I don't have to work for these people forever. I'm not bragging or anything, but um, I have financial freedom, and I don't have any bills, and all my stuff's paid for, and you know, if they're going to give me a reason to alter uh, my business, I'm gonna jump on it. You know, so I didn't plant any of these plants yesterday. Um, you know, people, I think, you know, they have expectations and stuff, and they want to do things. And we have, you know, a heat index right now that, you know, there's warnings. You're not supposed to be outside between the hours of noon and 6, you know, but they want me to be out in the heat between noon and 6. I had a lot of rich people that I worked for a few years ago that wanted to re-landscape their whole house in August. I told one lady once, I said, I'm in no condition to do that kind of stuff anymore. Well, she fired me and hired someone else. And this guy had just started his business, and you can't say no to customer requests, because then you lose the account and then you don't have any money to pay your bills or your mower payments and stuff. So he landscaped her house, and I watched him do it. And it's miserable out when it's 110 degrees, and it's nothing I want to put any of the employees through either. you know the guy that taught me how to do this business the correct way said no landscape jobs in the summertime. All right, but these people wanted landscape jobs done in the peak heat. It was like, what's wrong with their thinking and stuff. So like I said, you can't fix and change everybody, and that shouldn't be your goal. It's a good business move to stop working for that lady, because she's got me thinking about her all weekend. She's installing plants that shouldn't be installed. She's trying to get me to do them when I don't want to do them. I shouldn't be doing them. And she can do them now. She can put the plants in the ground. And they look terrible too. She bought plants that were unhealthy and looked like they were on their deathbed. So I should have read the plants their final rights before I quit taking care of her property. And I didn't. I just took a few moments and stared at her house and jumped back in the truck, and I left. So I've got this big property to knock out right now. It takes me about 30 minutes. One of these days I'll do a silent video where I turn the cameras off and stuff, and I'll just mow it. It's pretty neat. I've done a mowing silent video already, and it came out pretty good. I have a subscriber that I'm good friends with, and he likes to listen to the videos while he's working. So he never watches the videos, he just listens to them. So I'll do a silent video and see what kind of reaction I can get out of him. So this yard was cut 7 days ago. These things pop up taller than the grass. So this is the seeds for the Bahia. And you can see that the grass is maybe 6 or 7 or 8 inches in a bunch of areas. And then these things pop up. When I first started my business, a lot of customers would call up. These things pop up right after you cut the grass this high. Hey, grass is tall, when did you cut my grass last? And, looks like you were never here. Well, I was just there 6 days ago, sir. Well, I don't know, and then you got to convince them that you were there. So I'm going to do the ditches maybe every other week now, because they're unbelievably muddy. For the last 4 years, I've been doing the ditches every week. And the guy before me, he did the ditches like twice in the summer. So I'm going to do his routine this year. I'm trying to reduce some of the real physical labor that I've been doing. So, well, I'm going to get my gear on and get some of these houses knocked out and get home. And I appreciate every single one of you for being subscribers and for hanging in there with me. When we get 200 subscribers, we're having a party in the backyard. So this is Russell with Russell Does Stuff, and thanks for watching.